Have you ever been driving calmly when suddenly that little yellow horseshoe symbol with the exclamation mark lights up? Most drivers shrug it off. Some keep driving. Some pull over and pray it goes away. Others think, it's probably the cold weather. It'll fix itself. But here's the terrifying truth. The moment your tire light comes on, your car is officially unsafe, and doing the wrong thing in the next 60 seconds can cause a blowout, ruin a tire beyond repair, or even destroy your suspension. According to the NHTSA, 74% of tire-related accidents happen because drivers ignored or misreacted to a tire pressure warning. And most of these accidents don't happen immediately. They happen hours or days later, long after the warning appeared. Today, you're going to learn the one mistake most drivers make the moment that light comes on, and the 10 expert-backed steps that will save your tires, fuel economy, and possibly your life. Stay until the end, because the most dangerous mistake is the one almost every driver makes, including mechanics when they're off the clock. Section 1. The warning light. People misunderstand. When the TPMS light turns on, it's not a suggestion. It's not a maybe check your pressure later. It is the car's way of saying, you are now driving with compromised traction, stability, braking, and safety. And here's what most drivers don't know. TPMS doesn't warn you when the tire is a little low. It warns you only after the pressure drops 25% below the safe level. Meaning, by the time that light turns on, you're already in the danger zone. Imagine driving with 25% less braking power, 25% worse traction in the rain, 25% more flex in the sidewall, 70% higher heat buildup inside the tire. That's exactly what happens. But the danger isn't the warning light itself. It's what drivers typically do next. Section 2. The one mistake that destroys tires. Here it is. The biggest, most expensive mistake. Drivers keep driving to the nearest gas station. It sounds harmless, but it's the #1 cause of sidewall blowouts, tread separation, premature tire failure, bent wheel rims, shredded tires on the highway. Why? Because once a tire is low, the sidewalls flex like crazy. Driving even 1 mile at highway speeds can overheat. The tire weaken internal belts, cause structural collapse, destroy the bead seal, rip the inner liner. Professionals at Firestone, Continental, and Goodyear agree. If your TPMS light turns on, the only safe distance to drive is to a complete stop. But what about when it's cold? What about when it goes off after a few minutes of driving? We'll get to that, because that's another hidden danger. Section 3. The psychological trap. It's probably nothing. When the light comes on, your brain tries to protect you from stress. It thinks, maybe it's fine. Maybe it's just cold weather. Maybe the sensor is wrong. The car still feels normal. This mental trick is called optimism bias, and it's responsible for thousands of blown tires every year. Driving feels normal because modern cars mask vibration and noise extremely well. By the time you feel that something is wrong, you're seconds from disaster. According to Bridgestone research, drivers cannot feel dangerous low pressure until the tire has already lost more than 50% of its air. That means, when the tire light comes on, your car is already unsafe, even though it still feels fine. Section 4. The cold weather myth that costs tires. Ever notice your tire light comes on during cold mornings? Here's the truth. When the temperature drops 10 degrees, tire pressure drops 1 psi. Cold mornings can easily cause a temporary 3 to 4 psi drop. That's enough to set off TPMS. Here's what most drivers do. They start the car, drive for 5 minutes, light turns off. They think everything is safe again. But here's the trap. The light went off because the tire heated up, not because the pressure is safe. This is called thermal pressure false recovery. Your tire is still low. The heat simply masked it. Driving later that day when the tire gets hot again, Now the weakened sidewall is being cooked from the inside. This is why thousands of blowouts happen on warm afternoons after the tire light turned on earlier that morning. Section 5. The first thing you must do, mechanics rule. When the tire light turns on, here is the one move every certified mechanic does. Pull over immediately, in the safest place possible. Not a gas station, not the next exit, not your driveway. Pull over, now. Why? Because you don't know if the tire is 10 psi low, the tire is 20 psi low, the tire is completely flat, the tire has a nail, the sidewall is damaged, the wheel is bent, the bead is leaking, your TPMS sensor is malfunctioning. You need a visual inspection before moving any further. Pull over, turn on your hazards, walk around the car. Look closely at all 4 tires. This step alone prevents thousands of accidents yearly. Section 6. The hidden danger you can't see with your eyes. Here's what shocks most drivers. A tire can be dangerously low without looking flat at all, because modern low-profile tires have stiff sidewalls. Look at these PSI numbers. 30 PSI, normal, looks perfect. 22 PSI, dangerous, still looks normal. 18 PSI, emergency, barely noticeable. 12 PSI, near blowout. Only now does it look flat. This is why. If it doesn't look flat, does not mean it's safe. You cannot eyeball pressure. You need a gauge, which leads to the next point. Section 7, the expert tool you must carry in your car. Every mechanic, every fleet driver, every car expert carries one thing: a digital tire pressure gauge. Not the gas station gauge, not the cheap stick gauge, not the tire shop's wall gauge. Because gas station air pumps can be off by 5 to 10 psi, and some stick gauges are off by as much as 8 psi. Professionals know if you don't own your own gauge, you don't actually know your pressure. This $10, $20 tool prevents $400 tires from being destroyed. Once you have your gauge, the next step is critical. Section 8. What the numbers actually tell you. Now you're pulled over. You've inspected the tires. You've measured the pressure. Here's what the readings mean. If one tire is 4+ psi lower than the others, you have a leak. This could be a nail or screw a bead leak, a slow puncture sidewall damage crack, rim TPMS valve, stem leak. Driving more than a few minutes can destroy the tire internally. If all 4 tires are low, temperature drop or maintenance neglect. This still requires immediate refill, but not emergency tire replacement. If the tire is above recommended PSI, someone overfilled it. Overinflated tires, lose traction ride. Harsh wear, unevenly, are more likely to burst over potholes. Now that you know the pressure and the condition, you're ready for the next steps. The part where most people make dangerous mistakes. And in the next section, you'll learn the one thing almost every driver does wrong after checking PSI, a mistake that silently destroys the tire from the inside out. Section 9. The worst thing you can do after refilling a low tire. Most drivers find a gas station, add air, see the TPMS light turn off, breathe a sigh of relief, and then keep driving like nothing ever happened. But here's the truth. Just adding air is not enough, and skipping the next step destroys thousands of dollars of tires every year. Because when a tire has been driven low, even briefly, the internal structure of the sidewall may already be damaged. This damage is invisible to the eye, silent while driving, permanent once it begins. And the worst part? TPMS will not warn you about structural damage. You can refill the tire back to perfect pressure, and the tire can still fail later from a hidden internal bruise. This type of failure is called zipper rupture, and it's deadly. Section 10. Sidewall damage, the silent killer. Here's how it works. When a tire is underinflated, the sidewalls flex massively. Internal steel belts bend, heat builds at dangerous levels. The inner liner gets pinched. Microscopic tears appear in the structure. Even driving 1 or 2 miles at highway speed on a low tire can start this internal breakdown. This is why professional mechanics always recommend this step. Get the tire professionally inspected ASAP, not by eyeballing it, not by tapping it, not by seeing if it looks full. A real inspection includes taking the tire off the wheel, checking the inner liner, looking for heat rings, checking belt separation, inspecting bead seating. If a mechanic finds a heat ring or internal bruising, that tire is permanently unsafe, even if it holds air perfectly. Section 11. The dangerous myth about TPMS, resetting. Many drivers believe once the light turns off, everything is safe again. But here's the truth. The TPMS light turning off means only one thing. Pressure is back within acceptable range. It does not mean the tire is structurally healthy, the tire wasn't damaged, the belts aren't separating, the leak is fixed, the puncture is gone, the rim isn't bent, the valve stem isn't cracked. The TPMS system cannot detect structural damage. It only measures PSI. This is why tire blowouts often happen days or weeks after the original warning, because the tire was damaged before being refilled. Section 12. The correct step-by-step response, mechanic approved. Here's exactly what professionals do when their own tire light turns on. Step 1. Pull over immediately. Never continue driving on a low tire. Step 2. Inspect all 4 tires visually. Look for bulges, nails, sagging, or cuts. Step 3. Check pressure with your own digital gauge. Don't trust gas station pumps. Step 4. Add air to reach the manufacturer's PSI. Use the number on the driver's door jamb, not the tire sidewall. Step 5. Drive no more than 1 or 2 miles to a repair shop. This prevents further sidewall damage. Step 6. Ask for an internal inspection, not just a plug or refill. Tell them, please inspect the tire for internal heat damage. Step 7. Repair or replace based on inspection results, not based on whether the PSI is normal. Step 8. Reset TPMS properly. Don't ignore the reset procedure. Failure to reset leads to false readings later. Step 9. Monitor tire pressure for the next 48 hours. If it drops again, you have an active leak. Step 10. Avoid driving at high speeds for 1 to 2 days after repair. Heat plus a structurally weakened tire equals disaster. This is how real mechanics treat a TPMS alert, not the just add air and go shortcut most drivers take. Section 13. Why TPMS often fails to warn you early enough. Here's one of the biggest secrets in the tire industry. TPMS systems are not designed to keep you perfectly safe. They're designed to pass regulations. By law, TPMS only has to alert you when PSI drops 25%. Not 10%, not 15%, 25%. That's dangerously low. Imagine a tire rated for 35 PSI. TPMS won't warn you until it drops to 26 PI. But at 28 PSI, 29 PSI, and even 30 PSI, you are already losing traction stability, braking distance, fuel efficiency, tire lifespan. Meaning, by the time the warning light appears, the danger has already begun. Section 14. The hidden dangers of overfilling. You know what's just as dangerous as underinflation? Overinflation, something 40% of drivers do after panicking at a TPMS alert. Too much air causes reduced traction, longer stopping distance, uneven tire wear, harsh ride, increased risk of bursting over potholes, weaker grip in rain, unpredictable handling at high speeds. Here's the trick tire techs use. Fill to exact PSI, not a little extra for safety. More air does not equal more safety. More air equals more danger. Section 15. The final 5 situations where your tire light means do not drive. If your TPMS light comes on and you see any of the following, pull over immediately and call for help. Not tomorrow, not after the next exit. Now. 1. Tire looks visibly low or squishy. This is minutes from a blowout. 2. You hear a clicking sound while driving, likely a nail or screw embedded in the tread. 3. You feel vibration in the steering wheel. This means the tire is already deforming. 4. Car pulls slightly left or right. This is uneven pressure, extremely dangerous at highway speeds. 5. The tire smells hot when you walk around the car. This indicates internal friction. A blowout is imminent. If any of these happen, the safest thing you can do is stop driving immediately. Section 16. Final advice. What you should always do. Here's the mechanic-approved summary. Never ignore a tire warning. Never assume it's weather. Never keep driving to the nearest gas station. Never rely on the light turning off as proof of safety. The TPMS light is not an inconvenience. It's the only warning system standing between you and a catastrophic tire failure. Treat it seriously, and your tires will last longer, your car will drive safer, and you'll avoid hundreds or even thousands of dollars in repairs.